Hi everyone, Jeff Lee here, Program Manager of TMAS at Connects, back once again with Jessica Van, founder and CEO of Maven Recruiting. Today, we're wrapping up our conversation with Maven Recruiting. Jessica, what are some of the current challenges facing our incoming workforce, and do you have any advice for them?
I think that we're always sort of in a situation of adapting expectations and adapting, requirements. And I think that today is no different. And I think that it's really incumbent upon all of us in the workforce, whether we're already in the workforce or entering the workforce, to be really to embrace the changes around us and to really make it your job to stay relevant, stay tech savvy, stay AI aware, especially in the Bay Area, especially in San Francisco, where that bar and the expectation for your fluidity and your facility with all these things is really high. So I think staying adaptive and keeping an adaptive mindset is really, really important. Another challenge, as you put it, would be kind of this ongoing tension between balancing accomplishment and productivity with burnout. And I think that's a very real thing. And I think that San Francisco in particular can have kind of poor boundaries around that. Um, and on the one hand, I think that ambitiousness and that kind of pulse of San Francisco is also one of San Francisco's greatest assets and greatest markers for success, but it's also a real challenge. And I think it can be a challenge for people who are looking to, maintain some level of boundaries for their personal life, their professional life, who have outside interests, things like that. Other challenges, I think when I think about my own career and when I started off as a 20 something, I had a lot of opportunity to learn from others. And I think that those opportunities are a little bit more reduced for today's incoming workforce. And I do see that as a huge challenge. I think that um, learning in isolation or in more of an isolation, right, is a real challenge. And maybe that will be addressed somewhat by the fact that people are moving more into office. But I I think that there's more of an expectation that people can kind of like figure it out on their own. And I learned so much by being with colleagues and learning from others that I think I'd like to see there be more emphasis on community. And I think that would really help incoming people to the workforce.
And riding on that positive note, what do you think is the greatest strength of our local workforce?
Well, I did mention that I'm from San Francisco, so obviously I am biased. There is absolutely a velocity to the San Francisco workforce that you don't quite honestly necessarily see in other locales. San Franciscans are sophisticated, they're worldly, they're collaborative, they value connection, they value diversity, not just in populations, but also diversity of thought. So yeah, we're an incredible place. And I can't tell you how many people that we hire for outside of San Francisco that will say, well, can you find me a San Francisco transplant? I need somebody that
Wow.
used to work in San
Mhm.
Francisco that moved to Florida, or somebody that used to work in San Francisco that now lives in Austin. And what they're really getting at when they're asking for that is they're getting at all of those things I just described. That person that can figure things out, that has the taste, the sensibility, the sophistication, the intelligence, the refinement, the comms, the polish, um, the intelligence, the business acumen. These are things that you develop as a professional in San Francisco.
Beautifully put, Jessica. Well, wrapping up now, where can we find you or more information on Maven Recruiting?
Yeah, so our website is a great place to start. Our website is www.mavenrec.com. As we mentioned, there's also our podcast, Reach, a podcast for executive assistants. And of course, we also have a LinkedIn presence as well. And Instagram. We also have an Instagram presence.
All right. Thank you, Jessica. Well, that wraps it up for our conversation with Maven Recruiting, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for the opportunity.